Is North Korea?
North Korea.
North Korea.
With North Korea.
In North Korea, women live under very strict rules that affect every part of their lives, making their experiences very different from what we might be used to. These rules control not just what they do each day, but also reflect the country's unique beliefs and way of life. From adhering to specific dress codes, they must wear to having clearly defined roles they must play within their families. Join us on this epic quest as we unravel 20 weird rules North Korean women must follow. Number 20. Driving a car. Being a woman in North Korea is as tough as you might think. In the capital, Pyongyang, women there are not allowed to drive cars. The government says this is because women cause too many accidents, but there's no real evidence to back up this claim. It was introduced several years ago by the former leader, Kim Jong-il, and changing any rule set by a former president is extremely difficult. Another reason given for not letting women drive is the idea that driving could be harmful to them. The authorities argue that it's better to keep women off the roads to avoid any potential harm. This is especially curious because North Korea has very few cars compared to other countries, and traffic jams are almost non-existent. In a strange twist, women can work as traffic officers, directing cars and managing road traffic. It's quite surprising that while women can control traffic flow, they are not allowed to drive a car themselves due to their gender. Number 19. Access to education. The North Korean government claims to offer equal education for everyone, but the reality is different, especially for women. In North Korea, the education that women receive is shaped by the government's beliefs and societal norms that emphasize traditional gender roles. While women in North Korea do have access to basic education and high literacy rates, the kind and level of education they get are often limited by these traditional views on gender. Women in North Korea face big differences in the subjects they are taught and the support they receive to go for higher education or specialized fields. They are often pushed towards careers considered suitable for their gender, such as teaching, nursing, or working in the textile industry. This reinforces traditional roles and limits their chances in broader professional areas. Many bright and talented girls are pressured by their families and face harsh societal judgment, leading them to leave school early. Moreover, the curriculum is heavily influenced by state propaganda. It focuses on praising the ruling Kim family and promoting socialist ideas, which further limits the scope and variety of education for women. Number 18. Restricted hairstyles. In North Korea, women's hairstyles are strictly regulated by the government. Women are required to choose from about 18 specific government-approved hairstyles. These approved styles are typically simple and plain, reflecting what the government considers traditional Korean looks. The government's control even extends to banning hairstyles seen as modern or Western, like long, dyed, or permed hair. The list of approved styles changes often and is heavily promoted through state media to ensure everyone knows the acceptable options. Married women are usually expected to have short hair, while younger, unmarried women can have slightly longer and somewhat more varied styles, though still within the strict approved limits. If women do not follow these hairstyle rules, they can face serious consequences. Penalties can include fines, public criticism sessions, or, in extreme cases, forced haircuts. This non-compliance can also affect a woman's job or social status. The North Korean government claims that regulating women's hairstyles is aimed at maintaining a uniform society. Number 17. Marriage traditions. In North Korea, a woman has little choice in selecting who she gets married to. Marriages are often arranged by parents, and even the government has strict rules governing weddings, which can be confusing for outsiders. Traditionally, families play a significant role in deciding everything from choosing a spouse to planning the wedding and covering the expenses. Love is not the primary consideration in North Korean marriages. Instead, parents often seek matches with wealthier families. Social and governmental norms restrict the freedom of girls, including during weddings, where ceremonies are conducted under legal guidelines set by the government. Weddings in North Korea are notably different from Western traditions. Rather than tossing flowers, couples bring them to the monument of Kim Il-sung to honor the late leader. Moreover, taking wedding photos at this monument is customary. There are also strict taboos against marrying on April 15 or February 16, which are the birthdays of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il respectively. For those who can't afford an extravagant wedding, they borrow food and other items from the market. After using the borrowed goods for photographs, they return them to the vendors. This allows them to have beautiful wedding pictures without the expense. Wealthier couples, however, often receive money as gifts. Sometimes, government officials even give US dollars. Number 16. Riding a bicycle. In addition to the controversy over driving, North Korean women face another unusual restriction. They are not allowed to ride bicycles by law. Historically, North Korean authorities have had a complex relationship with bicycles. Unlike many other countries where bicycles have been widely embraced for personal transportation for decades, North Korea showed less interest until 1992. Bicycles were completely banned from the streets of Pyongyang until that year, and this ban was strictly enforced, resulting in very few bicycles being seen in the capital city. The prohibition on women riding bicycles is said to have been personally instituted by Kim Jong-il, the former leader of North Korea. Various reasons and rumors surround the origins of this rule. One explanation suggests that Kim Jong-il, known for his interest in female beauty, believed that seeing an attractive woman on a bicycle could be too provocative and harm public morality. Another explanation claims that it was argued that women lacked the genetic ability to handle traffic, which was also why they were not granted driving licenses in North Korea. This argument implied that women could pose a danger on the streets even as cyclists. The ban on women's cycling is believed to have been reinforced after a tragic accident involving the daughter of a high-ranking official, which reportedly influenced Kim Jong-il's decision. Although the exact reasons for North Korea's dislike of cycling remain unclear, it is suggested that they aim to present an image of an advanced and sophisticated city. There was a concern that large groups of cyclists could disrupt this image. In 1995, women were officially barred from riding bicycles. Although this ban was temporarily lifted in 2012, it was reintroduced in early 2013, with inconsistent enforcement since then. Number 15. Foreign music and films. In North Korea, women engaging with foreign music or movies from other countries is seen as a serious crime. This strict rule got even stricter in 2015 when Kim Jong-un ordered all cassette tapes and CDs with songs deemed unacceptable by the government to be destroyed. This was meant to stop people from expressing different opinions and to keep control over everyone. Women are more likely to get in trouble for breaking this law because they tend to like media, entertainment, and music more. The punishment for breaking this law depends on where the foreign music or movie comes from. Watching an American movie, for example, could mean getting executed, which is the most serious punishment. Watching Indian films could lead to being put in prison, but the amount of time in prison can change. The North Korean government is very determined to stop foreign cultures and ideas from coming into the country because it thinks these things could make people, especially women, not listen to them anymore and could lead to problems. Number 14. Breadwinners of the family. Imagine having a job where you not only don't get paid, but sometimes you have to pay your boss. Well, that's the strange reality for many workers in North Korea. In this tough situation, many North Korean women find themselves as the main earners for their families. This shift happened because their husbands often didn't receive any wages. Back in the mid-1990s, a big famine hit North Korea, and the government couldn't provide enough food. To survive, people started illegal markets called jangmadang. Although the government initially tried to shut them down, these markets grew, and the rules around them became more relaxed. This change allowed women to take a leading role in these markets. Today, almost half of North Korean families depend on private trading as their main source of income, with women at the forefront. Their daily routine includes caring for animals they plan to sell and making homemade alcohol even though it's not allowed. Meanwhile, North Korean men are stuck in the country's slow and outdated government jobs. If they skip work, they can end up in jail. Number 13. Specific dress code. In North Korea, the government has very strict rules about what women can wear. They are required to dress in modest, simple clothes that the state approves. For special events, women typically wear traditional Korean dresses called hanbok. For everyday life, they must wear plain and simple outfits. Bright colors and trendy accessories are generally not allowed, and Western-style clothing is often completely banned. However, in North Korea, jeans are still a controversial subject. This is mainly because North Korea strongly dislikes Western values. Kim Jong-un, the country's leader, is particularly against Western culture and ideas. He sees blue jeans as a symbol of American influence and power. Because of this, blue jeans are banned and not allowed in North Korea, especially for women. Women can't also wear pants. This rule against women wearing pants greatly limited their ability to do more work. Sometimes in the countryside, the rule was relaxed and women were allowed to wear pants, but this was rare. When the rule was enforced, police officers would act like fashion police, ensuring that no women wore pants. In Pyongyang, the capital, this rule was strictly enforced. Women were expected to look feminine enough for the men, with no exceptions. Even during freezing winters, women had to wear skirts, no matter how uncomfortable it was. This rule seems to mainly target women, as noted by the locals. This strict rule applies to both the people living there and visitors. These dress codes are not just about fashion, they are a way for the government to make everyone look the same and maintain control. By limiting women's choices in clothing, the regime suppresses individuality and enforces a uniform appearance that fits the state's preferred image. If women do not follow these dress codes, they can be publicly scolded, fined, or face even harsher punishments. Number 12. Travel restrictions. North Korean women face very strict rules about where they can go, both within their own country and outside of it. To travel inside North Korea, they need special permission from the government, which is hard to get. Traveling to other countries is even more difficult. Only a very small number of North Koreans, mostly officials, are allowed to go abroad. For women, these travel restrictions are often linked to the government's desire to control their activities and protect them from outside influences. This heavy control affects many areas of their lives. It limits their freedom, making it hard to find different job opportunities or learn about new cultures and ideas. Family life is also deeply affected because women may not be able to visit relatives in other parts of the country. This isolation can prevent them from maintaining close family connections, adding to the challenges they face due to the government's tight control of their movements. Since August 2020, the government has created buffer zones 1 to 2 kilometers wide along the northern border, where guards have orders to shoot anyone trying to cross without authorization. In 2021, there were several incidents where border guards shot and killed North Koreans attempting to cross the border into China. The government has suspended international flights and closed official land border crossings with China. They have also imposed severe restrictions on resident diplomats and foreign organization employees, preventing them from traveling outside Pyongyang and stopping the receipt of diplomatic pouches. Although diplomatic missions, United Nations agencies, and international non-profit groups were allowed to send their staff back home, they were not allowed to return to North Korea. Additionally, the government imposed month-long quarantines on anyone returning to the country. These actions led to nearly all diplomats and international relief workers leaving North Korea. Number 11. Media and information prohibitions. In North Korea, most women have no freedom to think, express opinions, or access information. The government tightly controls all media. If people try to access unauthorized content on their phones, computers, TVs, radios, or other devices, they can be severely punished. The government considers any unapproved media to be anti-socialist and goes to great lengths to suppress it. The North Korean government even limits phone access to keep their citizens isolated from the outside world. They even block Chinese mobile phone services near the border and arrest anyone who communicates with foreigners or sets up meetings between locals and foreigners. In North Korea, using the global internet is illegal. The government tightly controls who can go online, allowing only a few government workers, scientists, and students to access it. They have a special state-run network called pyongyang to manage internet use. For everyone else, the internet is off limits because North Korean leaders see it as a threat. They worry that the internet's power to connect people around the world and spread information and ideas could undermine their control. Possessing a foreign mobile phone can result in at least 3 months of forced labor. In December 2020, North Korea passed a strict law called the DPRK law on rejecting reactionary ideology and culture. This law bans sharing media from South Korea, the United States, or Japan. The penalties are extremely harsh and can include execution. Simply watching this banned content can lead to a 15-year sentence in a prison camp. Speaking, writing, or singing in a South Korean style can get you up to 2 years of hard labor. Number 10. Beauty and cosmetics standards. The North Korean government has very strict rules about beauty and cosmetics for women, which are often based on old-fashioned and conservative ideas. These rules tell people what kinds of makeup, nail polish, and skincare products they are allowed to use. Since World War II, makeup has been prohibited in North Korea due to the separation from South Korea in politics, economy, and culture. Despite limited exposure to global beauty and fashion trends, many North Korean women are interested in cosmetics, as shown by the smuggling of illegal makeup into the country. To manage this, the government has set up a state-owned makeup company to control the situation. Other factors affecting North Korean beauty standards include changing tastes and the influence of Kim Jong-un's wife in reshaping beauty ideals in the country. In North Korea, red lipstick is banned because it is seen as too bold, which the government discourages. Recently, a North Korean-owned makeup company has appeared, indicating a move towards more acceptance of makeup. However, the government still strongly advises against red lipstick, viewing it as conflicting with socialist principles. Despite this, some women still use it, though it's rare to see them wearing bright red lips in public. Instead, they prefer softer shades that match the regime's preference for a more restrained appearance, reflecting socialist ideals. The government's view on beauty isn't just about looking good, it's closely linked to their beliefs, which prioritize modesty and fitting in over personal expression. For women in North Korea, this means they have little freedom in how they look and express themselves. The government bans many types of Western-style makeup and beauty products to avoid Western influences. Although there have been more beauty products available in recent years, especially from places like South Korea, their use is still closely watched and limited. Number 9. Motherhood and child upbringing. In North Korean society, women are expected to have and raise children, often in difficult conditions. The government promotes the idea that being a mother is a crucial service to the country, linking it to a woman's patriotic duty. This focus on motherhood means that women are expected to put family and household duties before their own personal or career goals. Raising children in North Korea involves teaching them strong nationalistic and ideological beliefs from a young age, according to the state's doctrines. While the government does provide some support for mothers, like maternity leave and childcare facilities, these services are often limited and of varying quality. The heavy demands of motherhood, combined with insufficient resources and support, can significantly impact women's lives. These responsibilities often limit their ability to fully engage in public and professional life. The government's promotion of traditional family roles reinforces gender stereotypes, affecting the overall status and opportunities available to women in North Korean society. Number 8. Participation in government rallies and events. In North Korea, citizens must take part in many government-organized rallies, parades, and large gatherings, particularly women. These events are used to show loyalty to the government and its leaders and to spread state messages. Women are expected to be actively involved, not just attending, but also doing what the regime sees as the ideal feminine and patriotic behavior. Women's participation in these events isn't just symbolic, it holds deep political meaning. Often, you'll see women in traditional Korean attire performing carefully planned dances or songs that symbolize national unity and loyalty. Attendance is mandatory, and displaying anything less than full enthusiasm can result in serious consequences, affecting one's social status and even leading to punishment. These government events reinforce the government's beliefs, ensure everyone participates in state activities, and help monitor and control the population. For women, this means an added responsibility to conform to state expectations of how they look and behave. Number 7. Contraceptives and sanitary pads restrictions. In North Korea, everyday items like condoms, contraceptive pills, and sanitary pads are considered luxuries. It's hard to believe, but most North Koreans, particularly the women, don't even know these products exist. This is because the government has banned their import. Years ago, condoms and sanitary pads were sometimes found on the black market, but they were not popular. Today, buying condoms is nearly impossible because people in North Korea don't use them. Sanitary pads are also unavailable in convenience stores. Surprisingly, North Korean women still use cloth towels during their periods. They must wash and reuse these towels. There is also very little education about pregnancy, prevention. The government wants women to have more children to boost the population, support the military, and provide cheap labor. Despite widespread poverty, this policy has been pushed for the past 50 years. As a result, North Korean women often have many children, with families typically having 3 to 7 kids. When a woman becomes pregnant, she is expected to give birth. Abortion is illegal and can result in prison time and severe social discrimination. Thus, the only option for a pregnant woman in North Korea is to have a baby. Number 6. Giving birth to a son. In North Korea, the rule that having a son is crucial reveals how society values men over women. This belief deeply affects women, who often suffer because of it. In this society, men hold power, and having a son is seen as a top priority, and sometimes seen as obligatory for wives. Scientifically, it's known that determining the sex of a child isn't solely up to the woman. However, in North Korea's traditional views, a woman's inability to give birth to a son is solely her responsibility and comes with severe consequences. For couples without a son, especially those with only one heir, not having a son is viewed as the end of the family line. Wives in such situations face punishment, even divorce and mistreatment. According to estimates from the Korean Population Agency, up to 2 million Korean women endure regular abuse, with a third of them suffering due to not having sons for their husbands. The North Korean government even permits divorce on the grounds of not having a son. After divorce, women typically receive little to no property. These conditions may be why North Korean women are more likely to try to escape their country than men. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the secretive land of North Korea, there was a rule that required every woman to wear shoes with exactly 3 red lines. Nobody knew why this rule existed, but everyone followed it without question. Young Soo-jin found it odd when she turned 12 and got her first pair of standard shoes. They were strong but simple, with those 3 noticeable red lines. One day, while walking to the market, Soo-jin saw a girl wearing shoes with 4 lines instead of 3. Curiosity overcame her fear of punishment, and she asked the girl where she got them. The girl whispered about a hidden shoemaker who made shoes outside government rules. Soo-jin's heart raced with rebellion. That night, she sneaked out and followed secret paths to find the hidden shoemaker. Inside a dimly lit room, an old man greeted her cautiously. Soo-jin begged for shoes with 4 lines, explaining her desire for freedom. The old man nodded knowingly and made a pair just for her. For weeks, Soo-jin wore her forbidden shoes, feeling a thrill of defiance with every step. But one decisive day, she was caught. Fear gripped her as guards dragged her before officials. As Soo-jin faces consequences, will her defiance change the oppressive rule forever? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Number 5. Smiling. Everyone loves to smile. In North Korea, it's illegal to smile on July 8, especially women. This is the anniversary of Kim Il-sung's death, the grandfather of the current leader, Kim Jong-un. Breaking this rule can land citizens in serious trouble, from being sent to concentration camps to facing death. It's not just smiling that's banned on this day. Being loud, drinking alcohol, or even having a birthday party are also off limits. So, on July 8, it's best to keep a straight face and stay quiet, as a mark of respect for Kim Il-sung. This somber attitude extends beyond July 8. On the 10th anniversary of Kim Jong-il's death, Kim Jong-un's father, Kim Jong-un, declared an 11-day mourning period starting. During this time, North Koreans are not allowed to enjoy any festive or leisure activities. This strict mourning period means no parties, no shopping, and no fun. In 2021, the mourning period was extended to 12 days, to mark a decade since Kim Jong-il's passing. Number 4. No career choice. In North Korea, citizens can't choose their jobs, especially women. Once the government assigns a job to someone, they have to stick with it for life. The reason behind this is pretty clear. It's part of the government's way of managing resources in their collective system. The government carefully figures out how many workers are needed for different industries and areas, and then they assign people to those jobs. Because of this, having a job in North Korea is very different for women from what it means in other countries. In North Korea, a job is simply where the government tells you to work. If someone refuses to do the job they're assigned, they face severe punishments like being sent to prison or internment camps. This strict system is why most North Korean students don't have dreams or goals for their future. They know that achieving their aspirations is impossible under this system. Number 3. Ban against unnatural hair color. Hair color is often a fun way for people to show their creativity, personality, and even their mood. However, this isn't true for people in North Korea, mostly women. There, the government tightly controls everything related to hair color. Instead of being able to choose vibrant reds, bright blues, or any other unusual colors, North Koreans are limited to a few natural shades. This means they can only have hair in various shades of black, brown, and other dark colors. The reasons for these strict rules are many. The government wants everyone to look similar and avoid standing out. This helped them promote a collective identity centered around the ruling Kim dynasty and socialist values. Unusual hair colors are seen as a way for people to express individuality, which could lead to nonconformity and even dissent. North Korea's leaders have always enforced strict appearance standards, emphasizing conservative values. They discourage any signs of rebellion or defiance. So, having dyed or colorful hair is viewed as going against these rules and, by extension, challenging the regime's authority. Number 2. The fashion police. In North Korea, women must obey the fashion police. There are strict rules about what people can wear, which are enforced by a group often referred to as the fashion police. They believe that what you wear says a lot about your political beliefs. These fashion police are members of a youth organization tied to the government. They monitor what people wear to ensure it fits the government's standards. For example, women are expected to wear skirts or dresses, especially outside of work. If they wear trousers, they could face long interrogations and criticism. These rules are more relaxed in rural areas where practical clothing like trousers is more accepted. However, there are still strict rules against clothing that is too revealing or too different from the norm. Anything that looks foreign or has writing in Roman letters is also discouraged. Breaking these rules can lead to serious consequences, like being sent to a labor camp. The government uses these rules to control not just what people wear, but also their way of thinking. Number 1. No capitalist culture. Recently, North Korea has started cracking down on women who wear shorts to stay cool in the hot summer. The government views shorts that go above the knee as a symbol of capitalist culture and fashion. This enforcement mainly targets women, according to people living in the country. It's part of Pyongyang's broader effort to uphold what they call socialist values, under a law introduced in 2020 to eliminate behaviors seen as foreign or capitalist influenced. The law also covers activities such as watching or sharing South Korean and Western media, using South Korean slang or spelling in communication, teaching dance to young people, and wearing unapproved clothing styles. Violating these rules, like many other minor offenses in North Korea, can lead to severe consequences, including imprisonment. Interestingly, although the law technically applies to both men and women, it seems to disproportionately affect women who choose to wear shorts. Officials argue that limiting the exposure of women's skin below the knee preserves socialist traditions. However, many citizens are frustrated by the government's strict control over their clothing choices, especially in hot weather. Which of these weird rules by the North Korean government that women must follow do you find intriguing? Let us know your answer in the comments section.